So you come into Bombay, India. What's India like?
India stunk.
The minute you hit the area, you could smell it, or
You could smell it while you were still quite a ways out. Our ship was so big it couldn't come in to the dock, and so they docked out in the bay a ways, and then sent little boats out to pick us up and unload our stuff. That was my first introduction to the beggars. Those guys that were on those little boats were bucksheesh, and we just changed our money into Indian money a few days before that, and it didn't really mean that much to us. And we were throwing them a few coins down there, and they had to break that up. Those guys were making more money at what we were throwing them than they were getting paid. They never would have got us unloaded. Took us into Bombay and put us on a train. And
when you say it stunk, was it like a cattle yard smell or a dead body smell, or?
It's hard to tell. Just real stink and stale. Human feces and dead bodies. You name it, it was there. They took us up to Ramgarh, and that was our training center. We had pretty decent quarters there, brick quarters. I don't know what the enlisted men had, the officers had those. And I don't remember whether there was some Chinese already there when we got there. Quite possibly there was, but we got busy setting up a training center, and us infantrymen, we were to train them in infantry weapons. These were Chinese that had come out of Burma. They got whipped up there by the Japanese. Stillwell brought them down into Ramgarh and set up this training center. I guess it had been going for a while.
With the intent that you'd train them and then send them back up to retake what they...
When they come down, well, they were wearing rags. They were poor. They didn't have anything, hadn't had anything to eat. And so we doctor them up and clothe them, equip them, and train them, and hope that they'd fight when they went back up. That's how 2 years went. And I got enough points to come home.
How often would you hear from home?
Oh, I don't know. Mother wrote to me probably once a week, once every 2 weeks. I'd hear from a few other people occasionally.
So in the meantime, you turned from about 25 to 27 or so?
Well, in 44, I would have been 27. Right? See, I was there. We got there early in 44, and we were there all of. No, that don't sound right. Because I was back in. No, I was back in December of 45. Yeah. So we were all of 44 and all of 45.
So you come home, and did they let you come home for a while?
Yep. They we came right home.
They
Landed in Washington, D.C.
on ship again?
No,
from India?
had 30 days leave, and then went down to Santa Barbara.
So, how did you get from D.C. out to Idaho?
I don't know. I probably took a train. I must have done, because I can remember going into the train depot there in Washington, D.C., and I couldn't figure out what was different about that train station. It finally dawned on me there wasn't anybody laying around on the floor. In those train stations over in India, the floor was just covered with people. People would go in there, whole families, and they'd take their cooking gear, and some of them probably spend a week in there waiting to catch a train.